Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We made it. We made it. We made it. We made it. Happy Friday, everyone. Make sure we're. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, we're good to go. How's everyone doing? Happy Halloween. I was thinking about finding some kind of a costume to wear, but I decided against that. What's up, Margin? John? It's Morning Chef. All the familiar faces. NVIDIA, Aiden, Levels, Easy, Faye Doctor, Dino. I always say Dino. How we doing? It's a beautiful day in Florida today. Loving it. It's enough to put on the quarter zip. Quarter zip's on. It's about 66 degrees. Windows open. Back doors open. It's beautiful. Should be a good weekend. It's 59 right now, actually. 59 degrees. Quarter zip sweet, right? Yeah. I like this thing. I'll be wearing the hell out of this. Trust me. I'll be wearing this way too much. I already know it. That's right. Press the like button, record your attendance. You might be able to win a quarter zip today. You might even be able to win a quarter zip today. All right. Well, yesterday, I think we came into the day with an incredible game plan, and I think the game plan hopefully protected some from getting stuck in pretty much the all-day sideways action. You did get a little sign, a little sneak peek at what could happen underneath our key level. There was a little bit of a aggressive slide underneath our pretty much exactly our 25 943. You had a perfect failure there around 320 yesterday, which gave about 60 70 points in a matter of minutes. So you saw a little bit of a sign, right? You saw it sort of sneak in there, and then obviously the earnings sort of just pops you right back up, which is not surprised at all. But there was a little bit of a sneak peek at what could happen underneath our ES 6865 as well. You saw that little 6865 rejection and had some nice downside continuation under it. But majority of yesterday was just this. This was pretty much the entire afternoon, which was just miserable to watch. So very happy with the NTZ yesterday, and guess what? We are back within the NTZ again today. So, that's the game plan is the same. So we'll jump into that today, but we are in the exact same level we were Wednesday, exact same levels we were trading Thursday, yesterday, exact same levels we were trading within Tuesday, and today we're going to close the week, as of right now, inside of that same range. So if we stay within the same range from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and if we stay within that today, I have no interest, and I am not going to go against that thesis. I am not going to look back at a week of consolidation and wish that I, put on a whole hell of a lot of risk. So, going to wait to see what happens today. thesis remains the same. Can we get outside of this range? Do we stay within this range? Right? That is really what I am watching today. So I'll jump into the levels, and we'll jump into the analysis as we always do. But just sort of looking at it from a top level right now, that's already the game plan. Really, no economic data today. Chicago PMI 945. Really don't think that does anything to the market. So no data to really be worried about. Earnings are out of the way. Apple, Amazon earnings out of the way. Killer Amazon earnings, and makes it, if you guys, most of you should remember this one. The daily 200 SMA. It was here, and then it was gone. So there's your daily 200 SMA. If you guys came to the live stream over the last few weeks, you remember us talking about this daily 200 SMA level down here and how this could provide an opportunity. And you can see at this point, we are now up about $40 per share from that daily 200 SMA. So what an opportunity that was. Same exact daily 200 SMA that held it up here, held it up here, held it up here, and once again, held it up here. Obviously, you would have had to trade that through earnings, so it makes it a little bit difficult. Definitely makes it a little bit risky, right, to just run it through earnings. But there it is again. So let's definitely do a little bit of a search of what else is at its daily 20. There's a few I can already think of. Meta and Netflix at their daily 20 SMA. Daily 200s. Sorry if I said daily 20. Daily 200 SMA, which is even bigger, right? So daily 200 on Amazon. And what else is at its 200? Meta, Netflix, right? Those are two other names at their daily 200 SMA. So interesting, right? Things to be watching for sure. Does Netflix provide an opportunity off this 200 after its stock split announcement? Very interesting. Is this Meta pullback on earnings back to its 200 SMA an opportunity? Very interesting. I would definitely be watching that. I am definitely going to be, personally, I'm going to be dip buying some shares on Meta over the coming, probably next week, over the coming days. I have some shares that I want to purchase at this 200. Never hurts to buy some shares from me at a 200 SMA, and I don't mind taking advantage of some panic drop on earnings. So, yeah, I'm going to be looking for that one. I'm also going to definitely be looking for Netflix, but I think I want to see Netflix do a little bit more. We'll talk about that. But, yeah, anyways, let's jump into our levels. Yeah, Netflix split should be good. I think that should make it more, at least more manageable to trade, I guess you could say, right, Margin? Because Netflix right now is like trading, I don't even know. It's insanity to trade Netflix. Excuse me. On the option side, spreads are wide, very aggressive trade. So splitting that 10-1 is, pretty perfect actually. Brings that down to like $100, $110, $111 share price. Could be a nice thing to trade from this point forward. Also, maybe even just trading it with shares is now very possible, which is great. So, all right. So today, we definitely are looking like the strength is in, right? And Amazon and Apple earnings were positive. So I don't see us going lower again because of that, right? If Amazon and Apple earnings were poor, then I would expect some weakness, but Apple, Amazon reporting well, definitely helping the market stay suspended. We'll see what it looks like today, but that's definitely a check mark for the bulls for sure on those two earnings events. The price list, thank you, brother. Thank you for that. Thank you for the $5 donation. Appreciate that, my friend. Happy Halloween. So going back to the NASDAQ, I definitely would assume that there is some strength out there because of that Apple and Amazon earnings reporting well. We'll see if it flips, but as of right now, you can see that it did create that nice push on the NASDAQ over in the after hours, and you're starting to hold and curl higher here. There's a little bit of a level that I wouldn't mind putting on inside of the NTZ today, and it's sort of these lows that you can see developed on Wednesday and Thursday pre-market. You can see it's like right in the center of the NTZ. It's sort of like that center point of this channel. It's like right here around 26,140. See that 26,140 spot? You have these lows from FOMC You have these lows from the overnight session. You have this clear rejection yesterday. And then look at the pre-market here at 26,140. So I wouldn't so much look to trade off this 26,140 personally, because I would have to be longing it right back into these highs, which just doesn't really make sense to me, right inside of this channel. So I'm not really going to look for that. But you can use this 26,140 level to judge, who's in control of today. And if you are above that level, it does look like the bulls are in control for now. If you sort of fail up here and then flip back under that 26,140, that could also be a way to judge whether, the bears are taking back over this move. So I don't mind that 26,140 spot inside of this range. It definitely has shown reasons to have a level there. You can see holds all here, all there, rejections yesterday, and maintains above it all in the pre-market today. So that's a pretty clean spot, 26,140. I would definitely, at least I think it's worth having on the charts for sure. Upside supply is still the same, 26,310, 26,400. That's nothing has changed there. Downside demand is still the same as well. You can see we basically held that demand all day yesterday. This was our exact demand level yesterday, and the drop in the morning yesterday came down and hit our level to the T, which was incredible. Pretty nice bounce off that level yesterday. The low was 25,942. Our level was 25,943. So it was about a 3/4 of a point off. So apologies. I will do better next time. We were 0.75 off of the exact low yesterday on the NASDAQ. With our levels here from the pre-market live stream, that's for free every single morning. So pretty damn nice. That was pretty nice. Our demand zone was great. Did slide under that 26.18 level for some downside to end the day, but it was all just a trap and nothing really interesting at all into a close, especially with Amazon and Apple earnings. So not really a trading opportunity in my eyes. But now you can see we are right back in the zone, and I would say looking relatively bullish, right? I mean, there's no reason to think that we're not. It has been a pretty much a week of sideways consolidation, believe it or not. You may think that this week was pretty massive, but really the move was all in this after hours. It was between the Friday upside and then Monday pretty much started right here. I mean, Monday started right around here, right? So that's your Monday open. This is your week. Really, the entire move was the gap up into Monday, right? The overnight gap up Sunday into Monday was the major move, and now we've consolidated, which is fine, all right? But we just need to be careful in this consolidation for now. When are we going to get the next leg? And that's what I'm looking for. Hopefully it's not another gap up on Monday morning. That would suck, right? If it's another, hey, we're going to gap up to here Monday morning and then we're going to go sideways again. Really hope that's not the case. So we'll see. But today I need us to get outside of this high, or I need to see us under this low. Without that, I'm going to be cautious again, trading within FOMC action, which you can see yesterday was really disgusting. Once again, you didn't quite get a pullback to the Monday low a day yesterday, but you did dip into this area and you did trap potentially a lot of shorts, which could just be the juice that we need for the new high, right? This little liquidity grab and trap could just be the trap that we needed to juice this thing higher. So definitely interested in the upside today if we can clear out some of these supply highs. But if we just see this happen and then we just sit here until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock today, I am out of here as fast as I can be. I mean, just not going to get involved if we stay inside this channel again. So we'll see. S&P 500, I do like this reclaim. Again, this does look like a bullish reclaim on the ES today. We can see very clearly 68.90. That's where you held all day yesterday. Pretty much perfectly, which was great. If we go to the 1 minute chart yesterday, we can see that the opening low was right at our demand lows from yesterday. So here's our opening low. Our low was 68.65 in our demand zone that we provided for free here yesterday, and the low a day on the ES was 68.67. So we were 2 points off of the exact low a day on the ES on our demand level at 68.65, and a perfect hold of that level yesterday intraday. We didn't quite get the full gap fill, but we did get a nice little trap, little alfalfa here, right? This is our little alfalfa move. So we didn't get the full gap fill. The full gap fill would have been down to 68.40, but you got pretty damn close, and that might just be enough to trap the shorts and rocket this thing back higher. It really might be. So I am interested, right? We did get a little bit of that gap fill. We added some volume and liquidity there, right, in this sort of volume void between Friday highs and this overnight low from that Sunday open. Little alfalfa right there in that zone, squeezing back higher on Apple, Amazon earnings. And now look at the reclaim and potential ripper that's setting up right now, the reclaim ripper. So you can see we reclaimed FOMC lows. We reclaimed that CPI high. I'm sorry, that overnight high. We reclaimed yesterday's major demand for majority of the day. And you can see right here, we are just sitting right above 68.90. So pretty clean there that the ES is pushing off that level right now. That level, 68.90, lines up with that NASDAQ right here at 26,140, right? So pretty nice spots right there on the ESNQ. I would assume the way this looks right now that you will see a navigation back towards the high of this channel. That looks pretty valid after holding this low, but guess what? This is all about entry points. When you're inside of a channel like this, it is all about entry points. So even though I believe this can go to 69.45, I really would like to be long off this low here if I'm going to look for this channel high trade, right? I can't take a channel trade at the center of the channel. That just doesn't make sense. So, if you're going to trade this channel, and that's why it's hard to trade channels, you need significant trust in these channel lows and highs. You have to just basically smack it and say, I'm long off the lows and I'm trusting this, because before you know it, that trade is no longer a positive R, right? And that's right now. It's no longer positive. You are now in the center of the channel, right? So what is the trade now? It's not good, because where's your stop loss? Your stop loss should be here, 68.90. So you're risking about 26 points to make 30. So, I mean, is that really that interesting? It's, if you really convinced that it's going to go higher, then yeah, maybe it's 30 points. But you do have to risk 26, right? So if you're going to trade this consolidation, you need to have the longs off the lows, shorts off the highs. We've been talking about that. Or you could just say, hey, I'm not really a fan of trading this sideways consolidation. I'm going to wait for one of these sides to break, and then I will take advantage of it. And that's sort of where my mind's at. But hey, if you're someone that can't stop yourself and you just need to have a trade on, then the channel trade is the trade right now. So really nice hold. Demand lows, supply highs, inside the NTZ. Going to need to see something happen inside here. Or I'm going to have to try to trust a demand low or shorter supply high. That's really it. SPY didn't quite get our full gap fill, which was down here at 678.42. You got close, but you did have a nice little drop and pop back above. You reclaimed the FOMC low. And I would assume now, as long as that SPY is above that FOMC low, this is probably a pretty bullish reclaim on the market right now, right? I would assume you're going to see something towards that 689, 690 spot. If you can get above 690 today and hold above it, that's a great long. I would look for that. You could look to long channel lows into channel highs, but you need to be paying attention to your entry point. That's the most important. Right now, you're sort of right in the center, so hard to get any kind of good risk reward here. Wait to see what happens as we get a push into the highs. Do we reject it again and go back to the center point? Do we hold, break back above, and maintain above for that next leg higher? That's it. It's really nothing else. But the key thing that's happening right now is the reclaim of these lows right here. This is definitely the strong demand zone now that's showing up across the board, right? NASDAQ reclaimed that low. ES reclaimed that low, looking really good right now, squeezing higher quickly. SPY reclaimed that low, and QQQ, you can see, reclaim that low. 628, 629 low, big reclaim, and you can see we're probably going to get our push towards that high today at 638.78. If you can get a break and retest above it, then hopefully we can end the week with a nice strong market move. That would be great. So let's look for it. Definitely on the long side today, looking more interesting on the long side. Not interested in shorting back into these reclaims. There was probably a lot of shorts that looked for that downside move overnight, right? A lot of people sort of maybe getting into the short side to close the day, saying, yep, Amazon Apple is going to send this market lower. I'm going to short right here into the close and then ripper, right? Just dead. So, yeah, I think you're probably seeing some of that right now, some of the result of that. And the reclaim back above this 68.90 is just pretty much perfection, man. Look at this. Bam, 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 bam. Just holding 68.90. So as long as you're above that 68.90, there is zero reason to look short today. Unless you really want to try to smack a high here. But Buddha Chew. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for everything you do. $100 donation. New donation. Wow. Thank you so much, Buddha. That will definitely be going to the coffee fund, which we are making strides on the coffee. We are making some exciting strides. I'll tell you that. Have some really good ideas planned. So, appreciate that, Buddha. All right. So, looking pretty good to the upside today off our demand lows. We are still in the NTZ, so we do need to still be careful of some lackluster price action inside of FOMC's range. But it's looking pretty good. All right. Definitely a bullish look this morning. IWM sort of stuck in the middle of this channel now, to me, right? We have some major demand lows, 240. We got some very clear supply highs, 249. You're sort of stuck right in the center of it. It's not really a fan there. Not really a fan there. Let's see what happens at the daily 20. I would prefer probably a deeper pullback here to get a nice big long off that low, but right now you're right in the center. Need to see a break outside of that channel there. Gold. Let's look at gold. Gold sort of holding higher, pushing higher with the market, which is sort of interesting. Gold is still under a pretty major supply level, so just be aware of that. You have these highs right here at 40.80 to 40.46 that you have rejected here over the last few days. So something to be cautious of. I guess, it's hard to know when gold wants to be correlated and when it wants to be uncorrelated to the market. That's been the most difficult thing to read lately because market looks strong right now. I would expect gold to be sort of fading with that, but now it's correlated to it again. So hard for me to tell on that front. But as of right now, the 4,000 hold is still very nice. You can see that 4,000 hold looking really good on gold. That's a good maintain for now. However, you are up into these highs, so really not much of a long for me into this rejection, into these previous lows. So I'd be careful up in here. But as long as it holds 4,000, it's probably not going lower. So if you want to look to short these highs, I would probably want to see these highs reject and then fail under 4,000 for that leg lower. Personally, I think that's probably the right trade. Wait for us to fail 4,000 after failing off these highs and then get your downside move. That's if gold even goes down today. But right now, it's going up with the market, which is slightly interesting. Yeah, just sort of one-for-one correlation with NASDAQ ES. Not quite, but for this very moment it is. Will Palantir break 200? Ori, I cannot tell the future, man. Thank you for the donation. We will go over Palantir for you. But I am not a future teller, so I wish I was. If I was a future teller, I would not be here. Okay? It's very simply put. I'd be on a boat in the Mediterranean, probably in Monaco, with jet skis and a lot of other things that you can probably envision. So, anyways, let's continue. So let's jump into some stocks. Tesla. Actually, let's go to SMH real quick. I would assume it breaks 200, though. I mean, my answer to that would probably be a little bit more on the side of yes than no. But, that's not a reason to trade Palantir. So, 372.78 on the SMH. Good pullback. Excuse me. Good pullback. I would have wanted to see a little bit deeper, right? Down into this 360, 358 area. That would have been nice, right down here, to retest this consolidation. But looks like you're going to potentially start to get your curl. I would be careful of that 372.78 high. This is a good pullback, though. This is sort of what we wanted. We wanted a pullback. We wanted a new long. Didn't quite get down to this area, but it got close. So I'm going to be monitoring that today. Okay, let's jump into Tesla. So what did Tesla do? Tesla, there was two ideas yesterday, which, I mean, this just worked out perfectly. There was two ideas yesterday. Tesla either holds 450 and stays in this consolidation, or it breaks under 450. Damn. Got a lot of yawns today. I need another shot of espresso. Or it breaks 450 and goes to the daily 20. And that was just pretty much awesome. 450 was a perfect break and retest rejection. Right here, break, retest, rejection, 450. Very clean. And a lot of you guys in the chat caught this one, so GG's to you guys. This was an awesome fail at 450 yesterday. Pretty much a mindless downside move. But where did the downside move come into? It came into our exact target at 440 in the daily 20. This was exactly where we talked about looking for Tesla to come back to. This could be a pretty interesting opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs. Look at this daily 20 low right here. So this is pretty interesting. Now, what do you need to see happen here? You need to see this reclaim 450, right? Reclaim Ripper 450, get back above it after holding the daily 20. Here's a low, here's a higher low. One of these right here would be the exact thing to look for Tesla back to the upside. You need to see a reclaim back above 450 today. If you can get that, I am definitely intrigued by a Tesla move. I would consider a Tesla long today outside of if the market's still in that NTZ. If I see a legitimate hold at 450 today, that is definitely a shot worth taking for me. After a pullback at the daily 20. Filling in this straight up move, this is not a bearish pullback to me now. This pullback is not bearish for me on Tesla at all. This is a, yes, fail under 450, which I don't love, but it's to a perfect daily 20, maintained it well, and all we need to do is reclaim 450. If we get that, you will put a lot of these shorts under pressure, and you will likely squeeze right back to those highs. So, very much watching Tesla 450 today. Very much watching 450 today on Tesla. Mikey, I just told you what needs to happen. So if that's what you see happen, then it's good. If 450 gets smacked again today, then it's probably not, man. I can't tell you what to do, but you watch the levels. Guys, the worst thing you could do is put yourself in a situation in trading that you don't know what to do, okay? Please stop putting yourself in situations to where you don't know what to do after the stock starts to trade, okay? When you enter yourself into a position, you need to know what your game plan is. If I was long Tesla right now, I would say I'm going to give this the daily 20. If it holds above the daily 20, I'm going to maintain this position, right? That's fine. That makes a lot of sense. 440, daily 20. I've seen markets bounce off daily 20s all the time. NASDAQ strong, ES strong. Everything's looking pretty good for things to push back to the upside. So I'm going to maintain this. Now, if I see 450 get smacked by the hand of Elon, and its thing just gets absolutely smoked off 450 today and breaks back under 440 in the daily 20, then I'm probably going to exit this trade, right? And I'm going to have to accept my loss because that's not what I want to see happen. So you need to create some kind of game plan in your mind, and you need to trade by it. That's it. Or you just enter something and have full-on panic attacks on every move. There's two options. So NVIDIA, 202, 203. What's today's lotto ticket? That's a great question. I'll tell you today's lotto ticket. Here you go. 5, 7, 11, 22. Actually, 20, 22. Powerball number is 9. There you go. That's your lotto ticket for today. I don't even think those numbers are. I think you need like a bigger number. I don't think this would win. Actually, I don't know. Is it where like it has to have high numbers, or does it not necessarily need to have the high numbers like the 40s, 50s? These are the numbers I play at roulette every day, though. Not every day. Every time I play. Man, if I'm playing roulette every day, that's a problem. 5, 7, 11, 20, 22, and 9. Those are the best numbers you can play, at least for me. Screenshot it. 22, though, that's the best number. I'm playing those numbers. Isn't the Powerball at like some ridiculous number again? Powerball. Is it the Powerball or the Mega Million? What's it at? Powerball. 400 million. Jesus. Is that the Florida lottery? Yeah, 400 million. Wow. What's the Mega Million at? Could you imagine winning one of those? Wow, the Mega Million's at 754. It's insane. It's actually insane. Okay. NVIDIA, 202, 203. That's the lows. Reclaim the 205. Interesting. It's all inside this channel. So not much for me on NVIDIA today, unless it gets outside of this channel personally. AMD, there's only one trade I'm looking for, and I think it has to pull back. I'm still waiting for this to happen. I mean, may not. You can you can see a lot of wicking lows down here, so it might just start to find some very strong demand, maybe around this 255 area. You can see that it's sort of just maintaining. You do have earnings next week on the 4th, so next, what is that? Next Tuesday, you have earnings, so we'll see what happens before that. Man, is this just the right pullback? It's just the right level. That's the right spot. And I couldn't live with myself if I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna long this thing, and then if I see this happen, right? I just couldn't live with myself. I would hate it. That's when you look yourself in the mirror and say, man, what the hell are you doing? Right? Like, this is the level for me. It's 244, 245. It's a perfect pullback spot, triple top highs, no retest. We will retest it. It will create a great long. But I just can't lose patience, because if I lose patience and I just long this high because I'm like, oh my God, this is just going to keep going, then this happens, then that's just lack of discipline, right? So I have the shares. I'll enjoy the upside on money, on the shares, make some money on that. But for my options trade, I'm going to try to stay disciplined. 244. That's what I'm looking for. Broadcom gave us our exact pullback, by the way. So this is definitely a watch today. Right, this is the type of day I'm talking about, guys, that I know is possible and that you need to be cognizant of, right? Look at Broadcom yesterday. Broadcom yesterday went down all day. Why? There's no good reason, right? Broadcom went down all day. Off the open, straight down. Tried to pop straight down into the lows of 370 at 12 o'clock. Pretty much a full downside day of 4%, right? And you'd be like, man, everything's going up so much, and I chased Broadcom at these highs. What the hell is going on? Why is this down 4%? It's just the pullback that you know is going to happen, right? That's exactly what yesterday was on Broadcom. It was the exact pullback to the previous demand that we have been looking for at 370, 375, right? So now I'm interested, right? Now I'm interested in Broadcom today after that pullback has happened, which is exactly what should have happened. Back to the retest of these highs. This is the same thing in concept about AMD. There's going to be a day where it makes no sense that AMD is down 7%, 5% back down to these highs, right? And you're like, what the hell is going on? Why is AMD down 7%? It's just giving back this move, right? And it's just retesting this level, and it likely will go back higher. But you just don't want to be caught longing the exact highs and not allowing something to give you that pullback retest level, right? So Broadcom, beautiful pullback. Another good example of this is Hood, right? Another great example of this is Hood. Hood was failing 148, Anyone that's just longing this, hoping it breaks out, has to sit through a drawdown period of 6%. But that drawdown, that pullback, is actually the exact pullback that you wanted to facilitate the next long, right here. I am very interested in Hood today to the upside. This is my top watch of the day. This is a perfect pullback on Hood to these previous highs and this 140 area. It is also the perfect trap move, right? Look at that. That is exact. That makes me even more confident that this could move higher, right? You trapped under the daily 20. You got back above it intraday. That means you left behind a sick 4-hour wick underneath that level, right? Look at these 4-hour wicks underneath that daily 20. So this is exactly what you are looking for. Hood squeezed above this breakout point. You either continued to chase it into these highs because you can't stop from chasing and, feeling like you're going to miss out on just straight up action. And then what does it do, right? It pulls back into the exact breakout point. Anyone that's chasing here has to sit through 6% of drawdown. But now this is where I'd want to be long, right? So it's the same game over and over again. It really is. This game is the same every time. And once you can come to terms with that is the game, and that I need to be looking for these pullbacks as opportunities rather than chasing something when it's straight up, that is when the game becomes profitable. And that's why it's been very difficult for me as a trader over these last few weeks to be long up here on the overall market, because the market itself has not given me that pullback that I want to re-long, right? That's just how my mind works as a trader. And that's probably why I've done pretty well as a trader, right? Because I don't like longing straight up moves. I love longing pullbacks into demand levels after straight up moves, right? So it's been hard for me, and it makes sense why it's been hard for me these last few days, because this is just in my mental chemical makeup, it's just not really aligning with my ability to be comfortable, right? Because I am not comfortable. This long to me is like longing Broadcom or longing AMD up here, right? That's how this feels to me. And I'm waiting for this. And I just can't get confident to put on size up here when I know that this is going to happen. But it's only a matter of time. But I just don't know when. So that's what's been very difficult. And maybe it doesn't happen at all, but that's what I'm trying to, formulate in my mind. So hopefully that, makes sense. That's probably the best way I could put it as to why I've been having a difficult time really just longing up here without this pullback that I really would like to see back to the daily 20 to, get size again on this market. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I could already see the day where we come to this live stream and we say, there it is, right? There's the move. That's the pullback we were waiting on, right? I mean, I just, it's something that is very, very highly likely to happen. All right. Anyways, let me stop chit-chatting about that. Hopefully that saves someone. That's all I'm trying to say. Hopefully those words save someone from just irrationally being long at the highs on these stocks. So MRVL, very strong. I like this 91 hold today. It is a nice reclaim of this 91 spot. You can see previous highs holding this morning. Just be careful of this 95 high, okay? 95 high, still a little bit of a concern there. TSM, beautiful structure. Look at this stair-stepping action on TSM. Really nice stuff. Structure, structure, structure. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Just perfect stair-stepping action on TSM. Perfect. You need to break this 308. If you can do that, I like the long. 308, above 308 for the next structure move. I'd be watching that. Qualcomm. Guys, please watch Qualcomm today, okay? Please keep an eye on this. It did exactly what we wanted. We have been tracking this on a daily basis, and it is doing exactly what we talked about. So it's time to watch it, right? We talked about it coming back to this 174, 176, and it is right back to it. And it's starting to hold. So let's please watch this today, okay? 174, 176. It might need maybe a little bit more downside into it again, but it is very close. It is very close. If we can reclaim this previous day high and this low here from Tuesday at $180, I think you can definitely see a little bit of a little inverse head and shoulder structure shift right here. This is definitely something to watch. Qualcomm at the 180 level. Keep an eye on that. Okay. Apple, good earnings, good upside, not surprised. How was the iPhone cycle? I'm assuming was one of the bullish things they talked about, I got to assume. Apple's ad business quietly set a record. Interesting. Okay. Crazy upgrades today. $325. What the hell? Nice. Jeffries upgrade. UBS upgrade. Crazy upgrades across the board. Jeez, yeah. Upgrades across the board. iPhone revenue. How was the big December quarter on iPhone upgrades? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we knew this. We knew this. Yeah, good stuff. I don't think it beat the expected move. I think it was $8. It's right in there. Amazon beat the expected move. So those calls will be juicy. But Apple, I'd say pull back 273. That would be the money spot. Coin and Adobe, you got it, Mora. Let's go Amazon. Appreciate the donation. Amazon, I think you have a beautiful opportunity to pull back to the all-time high. Again, what a beautiful 200 SMA long that we were talking about. That is incredible stuff. Right here, 242.50 is all previous all-time highs. That's your spot. Right here, that's your spot. 242.50. It's there or nowhere for me. Pull back to the all-time high. I know it should. Retest all-time highs. Break and retest all-time highs. That's what I would look for. That was right here. See this in the overnight last night? That's 242.50 previous all-time high. Right there, right there. That's the spot. Give me a pullback to previous all-time high. That's what I'll be looking for. Meta. All I'm going to say about Meta, I think the biggest opportunity to focus on Meta right now is whether this is a long-term investment time. That's really it. I'm going to be monitoring Meta over the coming days, coming weeks. Going to definitely dip my toes in a little bit of action here and look to see if this is an opportunity on Meta. I'll be watching to see what happens at the daily 20. Nothing with options. More interested to see if this is another opportunity to be long Meta, long-term. Want to see if it can maintain this 660, 658 zone. How does it do around here? Basically just a watch from 10,000 feet type of trade. Like, I'm just going to be monitoring this, seeing what it does, seeing how it builds back, seeing if we get some kind of crazy daily candle right back to the upside, looking to see if opportunity does strike for a gap fill move back on Meta. That's definitely something I'm monitoring. I think big opportunity if you pay attention to it. Netflix, another one right here, 1065. This is a big retest. If we go to the weekly chart, this is a massive weekly retest. This, again, could be opportunistic long term, right? Look at this weekly chart, double top weekly highs, big weekly level here, holding, announcing a stock split. I'm definitely intrigued, right? That 1065 level is right here. I'm looking to see if it just holds from 10,000 feet above, waiting to see if it does. It is still rejecting the daily 200, so I'm not that fond of it, but I'm going to just be monitoring, right? Over the next few weeks, does Netflix start to create those green weekly candles, right? Do I see some green weekly candles off this retest, and do we grind this thing back higher on a flagging weekly breakout, right? But this is going to take weeks to months to develop. So it's opportunistic, but it's going to take time. So just watching it. Palantir. I do like Palantir today. I love the structure that it's building here. It didn't quite come back to my retest level, but I think it got close enough if I was to be honest. You can see right here, these highs, that was 193. It got to 194, so it came back pretty nicely to this area of demand. It looks like it wants to sort of go again today. I can't predict what it's going to do. It probably will have some rejections at 202 again. I would assume that area is heavy. As you can see, it previously was. You do have earnings next Monday, which is pretty damn close. So maybe it stays a little bit sideways before then. But a pullback to this low would be really nice. You know what, just popping into my head, you know what the best thing that could happen right now is? Just really good companies that get smacked on earnings, right? There's nothing more you can ask for right now as a long-term investor. Like, if Palantir gets smoked on earnings, I'm buying shares, right? If, all of these, what else had earnings? If AMD gets smacked on earnings, I'm buying shares, right? That's exactly what I'd love to see happen right now. That's really what you'd like to see happen for the long term. Good companies that you know are in just they're going. Things are looking good, right? Give me a drop on AMD, make people hate it, make people panic on it on earnings, buy it, right? That's really what I'd like to see happen right now. If everything just goes straight up on earnings, it's going to make it, it's not a buy for me. It's just a maintain. So we'll see. I'd love to deploy some capital, but not at these highs. Give me some pullbacks. Aqua, 148. That's the level. It has been the level. This is a good consolidation, so I'm going to say Aqua still has a chance to break and hold above, but you need to get above 148. ASTS still holding my December swing trade. Still looks fine to me. 75 holding again. It loves to give you the panic attacks intraday. Like, look at yesterday at 2:30. I have no idea why it did this. Was there even news yesterday? There wasn't even news. There was probably something that I missed, but you went straight down to 2:30, got bid right back up off 75. So, yeah, I mean, as long as ASTS is over 75, I'm holding this. We talked about Hood. Definitely watching that. Let's go to Coin and Adobe. So Coinbase has been pretty dead to me. It's just sort of stuck in this nonsense range. I really have no read on Coinbase, Mora. So I apologize for that, but this is pretty much silent, and so is Bitcoin. It's been pretty much impossible to read the next direction. I mean, Bitcoin is been at the same price since July. Uh-oh. My YouTube just shut down. We still live? Yeah, we're still live. So, yeah, I mean, we're just still in the same spot on Bitcoin for a very long time. So Coinbase just has not had any reason to. I just don't see it. Adobe. Yeah, only 900 likes, huh? Adobe, it just looks to be in this. Wow. Yeah, Adobe just looks to be in this straight down move, huh? I mean, there's nothing for me on Adobe here until you get back to these lows. Pretty much a lifeless stock for a very long time. All of this entire year has been just lifeless. Wow. Yeah, I don't really watch Adobe, but a pretty lifeless stock here. Where does Adobe make most of its money? I need to think about that. Adobe is definitely at a big crossroads. Adobe better get on top of the design AI. Like, they need to make sure they win that battle, because if they do not, I know Adobe's not just like Photoshop, right? But like, they probably don't want to see their Photoshop business go to zero. And I'm sure I need to educate myself a little bit more on where else they make their money, because I'm sure they have way more than that. Of course they do. But I feel like Adobe needs to be the leader of like this just everything AI design generation, right? Like, anything that you use AI for to design videos, design anything that you would maybe put it in like Illustrator or Photoshop historically, Adobe just needs to win that everything. Like, they need to have that as that's their bread and butter. Like, Adobe AI is like the best AI generation of photos, videos, everything, creation. That's a big battle for them. Sort of just thinking about that out loud. Like, they need to win. That's a big crossroads because their business is at very high risk. I know they probably have, supplemented their income other places that I'm not aware of, that I need to do more research on. But like, that business in itself, that side of the business it's like do or die right now because there's so many AI things, so many different, like Canva probably has hurt Photoshop tenfold. Just Canva alone is massive and probably has crushed Photoshop because I use Canva every day. I can't even figure out how to use Photoshop. So, did we go over all the stocks people asked for? Yes, we did. Yeah, Oracle for the group. I know you guys were looking at Oracle. I don't mind this Oracle pullback. Where's the gap? The gap's down. Can it hold? Yeah, okay. It's holding back over that high. 261. Yeah, it could be actually interesting if it can hold back above this high here. And the 100 SMA. That's not a bad spot on Oracle. Okay, we got to do our giveaway. So let me go ahead and get that loaded up. Typeform. Uh-oh. Typeform says too many requests. What's going on with this thing today? Typeform. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to dox people's emails today, okay? You're just going to have to trust me with what I pick. Unless I can, let me see if I can do this a different way. Responses this week. Okay. Trying to not dox people's emails. And I don't really want to dox people's last names either. I also need to, okay. Yeah, we're going to have to think about a different way of doing this. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to, I see some interesting, I see some smart people trying to submit their requests multiple times a day. So we're going to have to, let me make a note of that. We're going to have to make it so they can only submit once per day. Only submit once per day. I need to add that to this list. We'll let it fly today, but not forever. All right, I'm going to close my eyes. You're going to see my eyes are closed, and then I will screenshot a part of this list. Going down. Going up. Going down. Right there. Who's that? Randy Scheichel. Randy Shelk. Randy Shelk. R. Right here. Randy Shelk. I said the last name, so I'll just show you guys. Right here. Randy. Let me, how do I want to do this? Randy here? Randy? Randy Shelk. That's me? That's not you, Chef. All right, Randy, I'm going to send you an email right now. So I don't forget. Because I do a good job at forgetting that sometimes. All right. How come I don't go over IWM anymore? I went over IWM today. Okay. Randy, congratulations, Randy. I'm going to send you a link. We are going to do a lot of cool giveaways. Let me actually show you guys something. This is coming together really cool. Check this out. Check this out. Check this thing out right here. So look at this little addition we made. Shout out Amped. Shout out Amped. So make sure, first of all, to register this, because this is going to be a fun time. We got some big giveaways going on here. Look at this little. Amped made us a nice little for our merch. Look at that. Pretty sick. We got a big mystery box. We got a Black Friday special. Biggest reveal of the year. Make sure to sign up for this, guys. It's November 16th to 18th for free. All you got to do is go to the link down below in the description. Register for it. That'll be fun. That's going to be fun. Giving away some fun stuff. Shout out Amped for the designs. Head of design of the insiders. All right. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I realized that Grok just picked, like, it was not doing it right. So I'm gonna work on that. Maybe I'll figure out how to do that again. Broke Beamer. Guys, trust me, I'm not rigging the giveaways, okay? I have no idea who Randy Scheichel is. So well, whoever gets it, gets it. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. See you guys next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Peace and love, everyone. Thanks for all the support.